Call Loyam Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah Wahara Kakwadash, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who rule well over the flock. Shalom and salutation to Akim out here pushing the words of truth and sincerity. Shalom to all the elect Akim Aqua, scattered Israelites, life on it. Shalom. Lord willing, this is edifying. It's a quick one. I found this video. We're gonna check it out and I'm gonna comment on it. All right, so it's real quick. It's in Chinese, of course. What you see here is an app that's used in China right now, currently, modern day, 2023. And the app obviously is like geolocation type of thing. What it's tracking is people who have low social credit scores in the area where you live or where you're at, where you're working, walking, wherever. And it lets you track those people with low credit scores. The entire app is designated to helping you find where those people with low credit scores are, so you could keep your distance, so to speak, from those people. This is future tech. This is where it's going, to ostracize people. You know, they got the sonar type of situation in the middle, and then it pops up 3 people names, right? Probably gives you, click on it and gives you information about them, where they got their low credit score from, so forth and so on. For those that don't know what that means, social credit score, look it up, Google it. It's worth checking out. Acknowledge it. It's factual. It's where society is going to turn to. The very first episode ever of Black Mirror was about social credit scores, kind of like in the westernized world. So take heed of what's happening. It's like an Orwellian dystopian future. This is what movies like Metropolis is about. THX 1138, I think the name of the movie is. You got so many, man, where everybody's pretty much like wrapped in a bubble or in the Matrix for one. So yeah, this is just another one. In Time is another. But you can see it's a real live app that they use, and it scans areas for people who are persona non gratas, all right, like undesirable, unwanted peoples, and it's being used in China. So that's basically allowing the platform of what we know is the end, or the NWO, to come into a full effect. And so let's get it. All right, let's get it. This is Isaiah 10:1. It says, woe unto them. Nope, let me start up a little bit more. Let's get this. This is Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. All right, we know how smooth butter is, but Esau's words are smooth. What's some of the words that he has to give us? Well, he'll tell you in one breath, China, this communist country, blue, 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 you know, terrible, how they, you know, have no journalism and lack of laws and freedoms. And then next thing you know, he's trying to implement his own mandate to have you hipped, right? Well, this is how they're going to have set up a social credit system in the Western world, is by mandating CBDC or whatever digital currency to be only usable by way of via a RFID CHIP, which is we've been prophesying of since the beginning, right? Starting with our apostles, which is the mark MOTB, the mark of the you know what. So the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. You're used to, we're privy, we're waking up to our adversary using his words. He's deceptive. 2 Thessalonians 2nd chapter talks about his deception, and how his deception basically allows those that perish. They was deceived first. So you have to believe in lies, and Esau Edom is the king of making a lie sound like the truth. Look how he's done with Caesar Borgia, the second son of Pope Alexander the third, I believe his name is, Pope Alexander the sixth, excuse me, for 1300s or 1400s, 13th century. They created this image to be perpetuated throughout the world of so-called Jesus Christ, a so-called white man who was the son of the Pope, and he got his son to be painted as the image of the Lord, and that image to this day is monumented everywhere from Rio, Brazil, all the way into damn Africa, all the way back to damn Australia, Everywhere you look, you got this Caesar Borgia image. This is all going back to all of his smooth words, right? But it goes on. But war was in his heart. So we can understand simply and plainly that to dominate the world, Esau has it in his mind completely. You saw her, Pamela Condela Harris, say it just the other day. Pamela Condela, I forget her name, man. But she said, you know, when we decrease the population, I'm sure everybody's seen that clip. If you haven't, research what is Depop agenda. All right, what's that all about? What were the Georgia Godstones? What did they consist of? What did they say? Didn't they speak about lowering the population of the world to under 500 million, a maintainable 500 million? So that's what the war in his heart is all about. This man really wants to, he can predict evil in his movies, on his Simpsons television shows, because he conspires evil. He dreamt mischief upon his bed, and when morning is light, they practice it because of the power of their hands to do so. They are evil people who is a vexation to the righteous, and any righteous, just citizen of whether you in the U.S. or you are just a citizen of Earth, you should be able to see with clear 20/20 vision who Esau Edom is in this day. He's the enemy, the adversary of the Lord. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Once you draw a sword, you don't just throw it back in the sheath. You swing on it. All right. You slice and you dice what's in front of you. So Esau is ready to attack. He has planned his attack. Let's continue. This is Sirach 12 and 10. This is why we can easily scout out Esau's lies, and easily, because we've been trained and taught through our apostles, through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Havrakakwadash, that we have an enemy in the name of Esau Edom, and this enemy, according to Job 9:24, was given inheritance to the entire world. It was given his blessing, his progenitor, Esau, the man, from Genesis, the 25th chapter. All right, the twin brother of Jacob. It was given unto Esau later by Isaac, a blessing. And Esau's blessing was that he would have the dew of the earth, basically gain control over the whole world. But he would do that by his sword, and by thy sword shalt thou live. And so his swords is everything that he used to destroy and to decrease his population. All right, now Sirach, Ecclesiastes, or Sirach 12 and 10, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And that's it. You know, you can keep reading on. You're basically given the understanding right there that you're not supposed to trust your enemies, and that you know you have another enemy, and it's an enemy nation. It's not just an enemy. So they all work together. They all work as a group effort. The WEF consists of many different so-called nationalities, and the reason being is because Esau has been confederate. Psalms 83 goes into how our enemies and their greatness of taking us down have made friends and allies out of other nationalities who join hand in hand with Esau to keep us down and hold us down, to lock us down, to restrain us, and then make merchandise of us and exploit us. It's all happening now, live. That's why everything you get is never made by your own people, and you know, it's destroyed or it's taken away from you. Your own heritage is you're denied access to your own heritage when you go through Esau. You got to get this wisdom and this word from the streets, from the corners, from the men of a great millstone, from the prophets of the Lord. There's no other way. Esau constricts you from having access to such records and things to prove your lineage. You have to believe through the spirit that you're an Israelite and that you're of this lineage of who the Lord is going to restore. Revelations 13 tells you about the beast, and that's NATO and the EU along with America. And in 13 and 16, we bring it out often. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. The technology is out there. We used to have to dictate and explain to people what that might be. Now you could just suggest it. What do you think is going to go into your right hand or your forehead? What kind of technology out here is, or at implements? What kind of devices out here can be put inside your right hand and your forehead? And then reading on, it just paints even more of a picture. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. What kind of mark will be attached to currency, attached to the value of money, and you not be able to buy and sell unless it's placed in your right hand or you scan your hand? It's all obvious and evident, you know, to the wise, to the elect. We could see it, you know. We've been seeing it, you know, ever since the prophets of the Lord, apostles of Great Millstone, first started teaching it. We could see it. All right, and so a lot of people waking up to it. Now, this whole ID system that they're using in China, obviously, you could see it's a tracking. You know, it's centered around tracking people. You're tracking the persona non grata. So, you know, Akim, this might just be an extra thing that they throw when it's time for America's test run and England's test run. They're going to say, well, don't you want to know who the sexual abusers are in your community? You know, just fill in the blank, wherever you want to put in there. Don't you want to know what the people who haven't paid their taxes, or the people who Googled Hebrew Israelites? Don't you want to know who didn't take the mark? You know, we'll track them for you, so they'll pop up on your radar in real time. You know, or do you want to know where your family members at? Do you want to know where your friends at? That's what Sounds of Freedom in certain movies is all about. Mason's been behind the push to MOTB these children. So it's all leading up to a time frame, man. You know, the clock is ticking. You see China steps ahead in this New World Order saga, and America's right behind, getting ready to follow. All right. Woe, Isaiah 10:1, woe to them that decree and righteous decrees. The reason why this is in the righteous decree is because you got to inject something inside your body that's wicked. You're not supposed to be doing that. All right. We also against that jab, if you ain't know. It says, and right grievousness which they have prescribed. All right. So their law system is going to include very soon, that is mandated, that in order to buy or sell, you're going to need, just like Revelation 13 said, you are going to need this device that goes into your right hand or your forehead, because they got the brain situation going on right now with Neuralink and whatnot. And as you can see in the news, if you've been paying attention, there's all type of companies doing test runs, not just Neuralink. There's all type of people, not just Elon Musk, doing these test runs. They've been doing it on animals. They've been having monkeys be able to play ping pong on the screen without any type of remote control, just using their brain signals. They've been had people, now they got this guy that's able to stand up and walk because he has a brain interface chip. And so as the cycle continues, man, it's just going to be that one kid that just wants to be this genius of the world, and they're going to put something in him, and he's going to be able to Google everything from his brain. Whatever aspect they try to throw at us, we prepare for, understanding that it's still in a righteous decree. You don't want nothing to do. You don't want to be a part of those people. Revelation 14 breaks that entire situation down. What's going to happen to these people who take this mark? They're going to have to be counted amongst the dead when these missiles hit. Yeah, the Lord got these missiles in store, right? Luke 12:49 says, I ain't come to send fire on earth, but and what will I if it already be kindled? If you know anything about fire, it needs to kindle first. The kindle is the small flames, the small twigs, the small brushed fires that start and cause the larger ones. The Lord said, I'm going to send the ultimate fire, meaning when I come back, it's all going to be wiped away. America, the lake of fire is going to commence, and I'm going to redeem my elect. And I'm sending lasers and fire lasers out of these ships as well when the Lord comes back on so-called UFOs. You see the news on that as well. Everything's alluding to prophecy now. You see, the prophecy is stepping up it's coming home, right? Just like baseball. You at third base, there's only one last move you can make. It's home. So everybody know the direction you're going to run. They just the ball got to be there to catch you when you're there. If it's not, it's a home run. There it is. So all I'm saying is the Lord basically points that out here by saying, if it already be kindled, it's already started. And how's the fire already started? In little ways in which people are going to have marks, all right, in ways in which you're going to be able to be tracked, and your payment systems is going to be tracked. You're going to have these you know, people see hipped up in their brain, right? They're going to be talking to you in third person. Damn, they're telling you things that you ain't know, because they're going to have that brain interface activated. Concentration camps activated. The depopulation agenda is going to be completely activated. All right. So you're going to see mass unlives happening all over the place, man. And so just prepare mentally for these times, because wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability at times. We're actually in the best place possible, provided that we continue and hold fast to the things we learn. We're in the best place possible, believing on the Heavenly Father, right? And through his Son. This is Zephaniah 3:8. The reward is for those that believe. It says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord. So while all the Lord said things are going to be happening, the fire is already kindled, so things are going to be happening. So it's not like you got to wait for the Lord to return and then it's going to pop off like popcorn, or you'll just be delivered out before anything happens, like some type of rapture scenario that the Christian church still teaches. No, there's going to be all out hell breaking loose in various ways. It's called the New World Order. It's going to be set up. That beast, all right, is going to be implemented and mandated, so that the people have to rely on that beast and take that MOTB, or else you're just gonna be a part of the elect, and the Lord's gonna be your provision. The Lord gonna be your rock and your refuge in times of trouble and famine. He's gonna provide. So therefore wait ye upon me, that understanding that we are people that possess a gene that causes us to seek a higher force to rely on in times of trouble. Well, exploit that to every possibility. We need that gene, don't put that fire out. Don't extinguish and quench that fire. Keep that fire going. That is the Spirit of the Lord calling you back to him. If you have a feeling and an urge to call upon a higher power when things go awry, just understand that you don't need to wait till things to go backfire. You're supposed to be waited upon the Lord as of right now, currently, modern day 2023. All right, while the fire is starting to kindle. It says, therefore, save the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. All right. And so the Lord's going to come and protect. That's the understanding. We're waiting upon him. The Most High has saw fit to crucify his Son, and then resurrect his Son, and then sending his Son again for our glory. It says, for my determination, and we know that word determination, when you go to the etymon, it means terminate. It goes back to the word terminate. So there's an ending. Anytime you read the determination, think of an ending. What is the ending? What is the final, right? The end justifies the means, is the saying. And we also know through the scriptures that the end of a thing is better than the beginning thereof. What is the ending? The ending, the determination, is to gather the nations. So the Most High wants to gather nations, all right? Not for the purpose of a new world order, but for a specific purpose. That I may assemble the kingdoms. Once again, the assembly and the gathering of the nations. This is the end times. End time prophecy, a determination. To pour upon them mine indignation. So it's a lot of nations, but the indignation is going to be that ultimate nation that separates the wicked from the righteous. See, the Lord's indignation, it says here, anger or annoyance provoked by what is perceived as unfair treatment. So the Most High is angry. All right. He's angry. He's angry at the wicked every day. And his decision is supposed to wait. All right. So he has a patience factor that's involved with coming back and turning back to the Lord. But you're not always taught, but you have to be patient. Patient means suffering. Suffering means to endure. It's all hand in hand with just the trials and tribulations upon waiting for these prophecies to all be fulfilled and catching hell up until that point. It says to pour upon them mine indignation. And the pour goes back into Babylon being a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and the wrath of the Lord's indignation being poured out without mixture. Revelation 14. See, the cup is a cup of trembling. The cup is a cup of slavery, vengeance, indignation, wrath, judgment, and it's poured out. That's the symbology of that cup, right? The Lord's anger and wrath, and whoever holds the cup, it has to drink of it next. Esau, Edom is next to drink of the cup. Jacob has already drinking. All right. We have already drinking. That's why we went into cargo slavery, documented. Even all my fierce anger. So the Most High said every last bit shall be poured out. All right. All of his anger. He's going to use it all for that time. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. And we understand that means not the entire earth, the earth abideth forever, but America, large parts of the earth, and also the fire is going to be kindled for Esau, Edom. In the book of Obadiah, he said he shall be stubble. So he's going to ultimately end up in a ablaze as well, that whole entire nation. So we can rely on these words. We trust and believe in these words, no matter what comes, no matter whatever you see online, whatever news articles we are reading, whatever new thing is coming to pass. Just understand it was already written down already, and it's a part of that fire that has to be kindling. All right, before the Lord comes back to send the ultimate fire. Matthew 24:35, last scripture. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. So you can rely on these words. They're going to stay. They're true. They're verily, verily true. Surely true. They will come to pass. You can rely on them. You can put all your weight on it. It's not going to shake, rattle, roll, break, fall down, shrink, sink down. You can stand on these words. They all gonna come to pass. All right. Abarat are we a part of the elect? We get to have the benefits of the blessings of the ones that stood stiffly for the name of Yahweh Shem Shah in these end times. Lord willing, this video was edifying. Until next time, Shalom.